The freshwater drain is located underneath the front side. There's a label on the outside that says fresh drain, and if you go under the trailer, you'll see the drain right there. In that position, it's open and draining. In this position, it's closed. So go ahead and screw your fill adapter onto your hose. I'm using a garden hose, but you'll probably want to use a RV water hose. That way it doesn't have the bacteria in it from a garden hose. It's designed specifically for drinking water. But for this purpose, I'm just going to use a normal garden hose. You screw your adapter on and make sure that the valve right here is in the off position. And when you go ahead and turn the valve on, it's gonna let the water come out. And I would let it run for a couple of minutes just to get all the bacteria water out of your hose, so you got good, clean, fresh water flowing. Then shut it off, and then come over to your water intake and insert the hose, and then just slowly open this to start to fill your tank. It'll tell you how much water it can take at once, because if you start giving it too much, it'll start leaking out. Now while it's filling, there's a couple of ways that you can monitor your tank and stop it when it gets to be full. You can open up the access door here and take a peek at the tank itself. You can start to see the water line at the tank. Pretty easy to see as it gets a little fuller. It's best to travel with an empty tank, just so you don't have the extra weight of the water, and then fill your tank at your campsite if you want fresh water. The tank monitoring system is located underneath the left bench at the dinette, and if you just come over and you press the fresh, it'll tell you what percentage of the tank is full. Right now it's at 7%. After your tank is full, come to your water pump access and hot water access. This is your water pump, and make sure that the valve that opens the lines for your water pump is in the open position, just like that. And if you forget which is open and closed, there is a little label on the side here that tells you. Now if you're going to use the fresh water tank and the water pump and not the city water hookup, which is right here, then come inside, and to the right of the hot water tank you'll see that there's another valve that the city water comes into the main pipes. And what you do is just reach in and turn that into the off position like that. Better look at it. It's in the off position now. And that closes off the city water from the system if you're going to use the water pump. Before you introduce water into the lines, you want to make sure that your gray water tank is closed, so that this lever is pushed in this way, and that way you can open this and see that the gate is closed inside. Same thing with your black water tank. Now before you turn your water pump on, I like to open up the cold water tap just to allow water to start flowing through the system. So just open up your cold water tap. And then you want to go down to your pump switch over here on the right. It's labeled pump. Go ahead and just turn that on. You'll hear the motor start working. Then you should see water start coming out the cold water system. So you can turn your cold water off. and the pump will shut off when the pressure reaches the right pressure in the system. Now I would go through and bleed all the air out of your system by turning on the cold water on each one of your sinks. Same with your shower. And I like to lay the shower right by the drain in the pan and then just turn the shower on. Now in order for the hot water to work, your propane has to be on. So you can see the two-way valve is pointing to the left tank here, which is the tank we're going to start with. It's an automatic, so if this tank runs out, it'll actually switch over to the other tank automatically. So you want to open up the valve all the way to allow the propane to go into the system. It takes a little bit to get the propane into the system once you turn it on. There's air in the lines. So to flush the air out, I recommend lighting a burner. And the way you want to do that is before you turn the burner on, get a flame going, hold it up to your burner, then slowly turn your valve until it lights. And it may try to blow your flame out. The flame will be very weak at first. Just keep the flame going until the blue flame stays lit all the way around. Then you'll know you have the right amount of gas in the lines. Once you get a solid blue flame all the way around and it doesn't go out when you take your lighter away, then you know you've got a good amount of gas in the lines. Make sure that your battery door for the hot water tank is connected, and there's a little switch at the bottom here that locks it in place. Then go ahead and turn on your hot water. Get the air out of that system. And now I'm getting hot water in the lines. To hook up city water, you want to hook up the hose, preferably a water approved hose, drinking water approved hose, to your city water inlet here. And then you want to go over and turn the valve off that goes to your water pump. So just turn it like that, and then turn the valve on that's back in here for your city water. And you can see it now, and it follows the pipe straight up and down, and there's an on and off on the pipe that'll show you that it's on. And if you're going to use city water, make sure that you turn your pump switch off. Then go ahead and turn the water on. Okay, this is the Sea Level 2 tank monitoring system. It's very simple. If you want to check the level of your freshwater tank, you press the freshwater button, and it gives you a percentage. So right now the freshwater tank is 18% full. If you want to check the gray water tank, you press the gray button, and it's 40% full right now. If you want to check the black water tank, press black. Right now there's nothing in the black water tank. The battery button here will tell you the current voltage of the battery, which is 13.2 volts. And then if you press this button right here that's labeled pump, that turns the pump on. And when the pump is on, the green light will come on just like that. Okay, I'm going to show you how to start the refrigerator. The first thing you want to do is press the on-off, press the on button there, and it'll go through a cycle test where all the lights will flash. And it should come up to auto. That means that it's sensing If it's plugged into shore power, it's going to run on AC. See, it just switched over to AC there. You can manually change it to DC by pressing this button right here in the middle, and then it'll switch over to DC. Okay, so if you're on DC and you want to switch it over to gas, what you need to do then is press the button, switch it back to AC, and then it will go to auto mode over here. And then you press the auto button and it'll switch over to gas. You'll hear it clicking as it's igniting outside. And then the clicking will stop once it lights. Okay, lighting the oven. There is no pilot light in this Princess stove because of its age. And so you have to light the oven when you want to use the oven. And the way you do that is put one hand on the oven knob up here so that you're ready to turn that, but don't turn it on. And then get your lighter down here, and you want to put your lighter up to the burner, and then go ahead and light a flame, and then turn your oven burner on, and that'll light the oven burner below. And that's all there is to it. When you want to turn it off, you just turn the oven valve off and the burner will go out. Okay, when you're ready to use the toilet for the first time, you want to open up the water valve, which is right down here. Turn it counterclockwise to where the valve follows the flow of the pipe here. And so you want to just push down a little bit to let some water in the bowl, stop it, push it down all the way to flush the toilet. And that's all there is to that. Okay, to operate the Dometic furnace, right now it's in the off position. You can see that this lever is pushed all the way over to the right, and it says off on the little lever. Now it takes a little bit of force to move this off the off position, but once you move it to the off position or to the on position, then you'll hear the blower go. And if you turn up the heat, it should start clicking and it'll light the burner inside the furnace. And then you can adjust your temperature with this bottom knob right here. This tells you what the temperature is in the trailer right now, and then adjusting this up or down will turn the heat on or off on the furnace. When you're all done and you want to completely shut off the furnace, then just push it back over all the way to the right to the off position. The blower will continue to blow for 30 to 60 seconds just as a cool down period, and then it'll shut off by itself. I just want to bring your attention to this right here. This is the exhaust for the heater, and this gets very hot when the heater is operating. So you just want to make sure that you don't store anything outside the trailer right next to this exhaust vent, because it could melt it or even catch something on fire if it was right up against it. It does get pretty hot to the touch when the heater's operating for a long period of time. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about how to hook up the cable for shore power. So this is a locking plug that comes with your trailer. This is the power port here, and you notice that this pin right here has a little bend in it, just like on this cable, on this cord here, it has a little bend in it. So what you want to do is match those up together, push it in, and then you turn it slightly to the right, and that locks it in place. Like right now I can't pull it out because it's locked in place. Then this little ring here can be then tightened around the receptacle to further hold it in place. And you can just keep the door like that, and it should stay in place. The plug above the bathroom sink is GFI protected. Now you'll notice that there's not a GFI reset switch on this outlet. I'll show you where that's at. On the street side of the trailer is the external power outlet, and that's your GFI protected outlet. The bathroom outlet is connected to this so that if a device fell into the sink and caused a ground fault protection, this device here would cut power to that outlet. So if you ever lose power to the bathroom outlet, you need to come out here and press the reset switch on this GFI to get power going again to those outlets. The outlet above the kitchen sink is also GFI protected, and you'll notice again no reset switch. The reset switch for the kitchen sink GFI outlet is right inside this compartment right here, and there is your GFI reset switch and outlet. The kitchen outlet is downstream from this and is protected by this device. This is the battery kill switch that disconnects the battery from the trailer, completely isolates the battery. So right now you can see that the arrow right here is pointing to battery on, and it also shows green right here. That means that the battery is connected to the trailer. But if I were to switch this to where the arrow is now pointing to the red, or off, or kill battery, now the battery is completely disconnected from the system. I'm going to turn it back on. Now it's connected to the trailer. The battery is being charged now when it's connected to shore power automatically, and it also runs all the 12-volt devices even when you're not connected to shore power at this point. Now when you are connected to shore power, the power center in the trailer has a converter, and it will convert the AC electricity to 12 volt needed to supply all the power for the 12 volt devices. So it doesn't use your battery when you're at a park connected to shore power. There's two situations where I would kill the RV battery. One is if you're going to be connected to your tow vehicle and you're going to be sitting for a long period of time and you're not needing to run your fridge or anything else, just go ahead and kill the RV battery, because then the tow vehicle is not trying to charge it, and the RV battery is not trying to run your LP gas detector or anything else, and so that there's no drain on the battery in either the RV or the vehicle. The other condition is if you're going to be parking your trailer for a long period of time and you're not needing to run anything. So you're not dry camping, you're just parking your trailer, but you're not connected to shore power. If you're connected to shore power, always leave your battery on, because the power center will charge the battery constantly. But if you're not running anything and you're not connected to shore power, then if you're not connected to shore power and you're not dry camping, now the way your trailer is wired, when you connect your tow vehicle to the trailer, the tow vehicle is going to provide 12-volt power and charge your trailer battery while you're driving. As soon as you unplug this, it's no longer charging your 12-volt battery on the trailer. As long as you plug in shore power, though, the power center will charge the 12-volt battery. The nice thing about having the tow vehicle charging the trailer battery while you're in transport is if you want to run your refrigerator while you're on a long trip, you can do that. You can run it on DC, and that way you're not going to just run your trailer battery down. If you're on a long trip, your tow vehicle is going to be providing constant 12-volt charging power to your trailer battery, and it won't run down. This is the Hopkins trailer breakaway safety system, and it's designed so that if your trailer breaks loose from the tow vehicle, this will automatically provide power to the trailer brakes and stop the trailer. Notice that the charging light is on. There's a little battery inside this that is 12 volt, and the trailer battery is keeping this smaller battery charged. So one of the things you want to keep in mind is that as long as you're plugged into shore power, that's fine. You could leave your trailer battery connected constantly, and it will constantly charge this battery here. This is the Progressive Dynamics Power Center. It controls all the AC electrical and the 12-volt DC in the trailer. On this side here, these are the electrical breakers, and on this side here, these are the 12-volt fuses. And I've got them labeled here as to what they are: the AC circuits and the DC circuits, and the corresponding amperage for the fuses on the DC side. This system will charge the 12-volt battery while it's connected to shore power. So it also has a 12-volt converter, so that while you're plugged into shore power, it will run all your 12-volt appliances, devices, lights, and it will not draw from the battery. It actually produces 12 volt and runs it to those devices. So your battery will never run down while you're connected to shore power. If you ever have a fuse go out, you should see a red light that will appear above the fuse that's out, and then you can pull it out and replace that with the right size amperage fuse. And these are all labeled as far as like what amperage they need. So like the fridge needs 30 amp, the fans 10 amp, the tank monitoring system 7.5, and so on. Operation of the ceiling fan that's above the dinette and the kitchen is, first thing you have to do is open the lid just a little bit. If you don't do that, it won't work at all. Now this has a thermostat control in it so that it'll come on automatically if you set the temperature. And this is the speed of the fan. I'll just put it on low for right now. And then this switch reverses the fan so that it will either suck air in or blow air out. A nice way to cool off the trailer really quick is to blow air out so that all the hot air inside the trailer is sucked up through the fan. You open up your windows and all the cool air from outside will come into the trailer, and it'll cool your trailer down pretty fast. The fan inside the bathroom is very similar. You have to open the vent before it will work. and then you just turn it on with the switch here, and there's 3 different speeds. This fan only sucks air out of the bathroom and blows it out. It's not reversible. The dimmer switch for the headboard LED lights is touch sensitive, so if you touch it, it'll turn on the lights inside. If you touch and hold, it'll dim until it goes completely off. Press and hold again and it will increase the light or decrease.